Hello and welcome to another episode of Innovation Quotes, where I am deconstructing quotes and give my view on how innovation quotes and quotes in general are working with innovation and with a different mindset than you might be thinking of. Today's quote is: an organization's ability to learn and translate that learning into action rapidly is the ultimate competitive advantage. And that was said by Jack Welch, who was the former CEO of General Electric. So what does it mean for myself? What does it mean from an innovation perspective? For me, the key is learning. So entrepreneurship for me is a way of learning. We need to understand our organizations, our ways of working, specifically in large successful organizations, to look into how do we bring entrepreneurships and entrepreneurial ways of thinking back into our DNA. So how do you orchestrate learning on an ongoing basis? Because what I believe we learn to unlearn. If you're in a company, then it's about being 100% perfect. You're asked to meet your targets. You're asked to put something out that's already 100% perfect. If you look into innovation, that's everyone knows and understands that you should evaluate what you're putting out. You should develop it together with your customers. So a lot of people understand that and know this, but if you then look into what's happening in an organization, it's the opposite. It's, no, we can't do this because it's not 100% ready yet. We can't post this because it's not 100% shiny yet. So a lot of things are basically focused on not being entrepreneurial, where you put things out, where you understand what people are saying, then you refine it over and over and over again. So another perspective of we learn to unlearn is we're getting trained to use the budget we have. We're in companies, we're working in budgeting periods where it's basically, hey, you have this amount of money and you need to spend it to be able to get the same amount of money in the next period. And you might be laughing, but I've been working with so many companies in the past, and inside large organizations, it's always the case. So if you're an entrepreneur, that's not the case. Then you're looking into, okay, what is the minimum amount of money we spend to get this thing moving? And what is the greatest value we can get out of that money? It's not about how can you spend what you said you spent before. So we got learn. We learn to unlearn, and I think that's a big topic when you look into entrepreneurship. It's like, how do you build an entrepreneurial way of thinking into an organization? How to bring it back that people inside an organization, they're acting as they're the owner of the business. They're acting in a way that they're looking into how can we build things and throwing things out that customers have a benefit of it, that you learn together with your customers, where you basically co-create together with your customers, where you work with a way of thinking when it is about money, of how can you use money as a way of facilitating things, rather than, hey, how can you spend the amount of money you have because it's inside your budget, and you know if you're not spending it, you will get less next time. That also means, how can we get faster? How can we take actions and fasten the learning process and putting things out, understanding how you do that in a systematic way? And I fully get that if you are in a big corporation, you have a lot of risk, or at least you feel that you have a lot of risk. How do you build a system around that helps your organization to get from where you are today almost backwards? Because every organization, every business was built with an entrepreneurial way of thinking. It's just when you're very, very successful and got very, very big, that this entrepreneurial thinking is almost tuned down due to the fact to be perfect, due to the fact where you think you have a lot of risk in not being perfect. So it's how can you empower your organization to relearn this and bring it back into a systematic way that your organization will grow, your organization will work with your customers and with your community to grow and take things into a different opportunity space. So that's the quote for this week. See you again in the next week. If you like these quotes, please check out my YouTube channel, where you have way more on educational topics and more quotes to be coming. Thank you very much.